Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with another mixed media frenzy. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to do the mixed media part like a regular video, and we'll get to the point where you'll see what it looks like before I start piling on all the extra Calvinball points that are going to be there. And then I'll do a time-lapse video, one of those quickie things to kind of show putting those on. And I'll include, when I post it, I'll have this video where it regularly is, along with a copy of the finished layout. And I'll take a before and after picture, the before being before I pile on Calvinball points, and then I'll do the quick video for after. And the one that goes in my album, of course, is the one with all the Calvinball points on it. But I'll have a picture, so I could actually digitally print the other if I want to make a note, if I want to document that process, which is not a bad idea, actually. Let me turn that light on to shed a little more light here. Okay, this week we're using this sketch, which is incredibly wonderful. I have another thing I'm going to copy later today, but that has nothing to do with this. So let me put it aside so I don't confuse things. It has a cluster of a lot of different symbols. There are lines and rectangles and doodles and looks like stencil stars and numbers and arrows and numerals and drips and little speckles and all kinds of things kind of over here. And then there's a little corner one down here. And I want to make a comment about this 100%. I had the hardest time. I was looking for a percent sign in my alphas, in my stamps, all over the place. And I actually found in some boy collections, I found, because I really like that 100% and I plan to use it in my title. The photo is of these guys on the gym bars at the Y, and the title's going to be 100% My Monkeys. And so I saw this 100% authentic, thought I could use that 100%, but it's not quite what I wanted. This isn't quite the right color. This 100% with the 100% boy, if I pull the 100%, it's too small. And I did like these numerals, and I thought they might add some color to my layout, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to kind of keep those handy. But what I came up with is, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but you can use in this alpha set, you can use this, put this eye at a slant, and then use a couple of the dots. Or if you have a small O. In any case, that's what I'm going to do for the 100%. So let me show you how I started this one. It's a little bit different. I wanted to try something different. First of all, Calvinball does have a rule for stitching, and I have used fake stitching, and I've actually done a few stitches with my own needle and thread, but that's kind of difficult for me to do. So I thought, well, I'll go check out and see what Vicky Boutin has in the way of pre-made mixed media, and then see if I can add some stitching around it digitally. So what I came up with, this is how the page started. This is from her new Let's Wander collection. It's the 12 by 12 pre-made mixed media. So I fed this page, I kind of turned it on its side this way because there's a lot going on over here. And I printed from my digital supplies that I have. I printed this border, which isn't stitching, but then I have some besotted stitches. This is one type of stitching that's available, and I put that there as if it's holding on this kind of film strip sort of element. This film strip has some birds in it and some, there's a couple birds on a branch, so there's some foliage. Another bird, there's a map. There's all kinds of, in there, all kinds of Calvinball points. And the Vicky Boutin mixed media has some green in it, which is a point. So this border has these brushes of watercolor here. Let me get this up a little higher so that everything I show you is actually on the screen. I've moved my light since last time. I found this element and plan to use it as a base for the little corner element over here. And I'm obviously going to have more color than is shown in the sketch, but it is just a sketch. So, that's kind of a colorful picture of the kids, and it's about kids, so I wanted to make it somewhat colorful, but I am going to use a lot of gray and black. So right now, I'm going to try to fill in the various pieces of mixed media there, and I'm going to do it here as well. I'll show you where the picture's going to go. In fact, we'll mount the picture. And then I'll call it quits, and I'll move on to the time-lapse to add the Calvinball points. So, let's start. I did these like coffee stains. I did with this Vicky Boutin mixed media or mixed media stencil, and I think I used this one. Yeah, that's the one I used there and also here. And I thought I would use one of the smaller ones with a lot of detail kind of around in here. So let me do that. And I'm working with my well-used ink pad that is running out of ink. So it comes out this nice kind of gray color that goes with the digital elements that I brought in. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of color that in. So it does this, and I smudge a little outside the lines, and you know me, that's not going to bother me. And I want to put some of these guys over in here, and here's why it's not going to bother me, is because I can do this. I'm going to add some color in my stenciling in a minute. Okay, so there's that, and I'm going to add, well actually I'll do that in the stamping. Stenciling's pretty much going to be this gray and or you know, blackish gray, and this Distress Oxide gathered twigs. So I'll do a gathered twigs element down here, but I'm going to do it with a different stencil. I am going to use now that was a Vicky Boutin stencil, all the green ones are. This is the Speckles stencil, probably the most used stencil in anybody's collection, by Tim Holtz. And I'm going to kind of put some of these, I like that orientation, and I'll make those in the brown color. Just kind of doing that. Okay, that works great, and I'm going to kind of do some over in here as well. May as well hold it the same way. It kind of go down there, and I'll maybe make it go out a little bit, realizing, of course, okay, I like that. What's good when you do it with one of these pouncers, and there are some rounded pouncers that I do not have, but as soon as I'm off my spending freeze, I think that's a purchase I will make. That that kind of push through stencils better. But I just kind of push down really hard, and I know that in some cases the impression will be darker, and in some cases it'll be lighter. And that works out perfect for mixed media because it's, you know, kind of imprecise. I'm going to do some down here overlapping. What I did, I traced the photo here with pencil, knowing that once I matted it, it was going to cover this up. That's just to give me an idea where I want to have some of the stenciling underlapping the photo and kind of traveling down. And I don't know what this brown is going to look like over the green. Oh, it looks perfect. Okay, that's great. And it wouldn't be a coffee stain if it wasn't brown, right? I'm going to put that stencil aside. I've got this stencil has very, very tiny impressions. I think this is, let me tell you the brand on this. This is a Crafter's Workshop. I couldn't tell you the name. It has a number here. Crafter's Workshop number 4855 or 485S. I'm not reading it real precisely. So I'm going to put some here. And this is not going to go behind a photo, although this is going to be a platform for some Calvinball points. You can see there's just a tiny bit of that comes through. So not the best stencil to use when you're pouncing through. It looks really good when you've got when you press texture paste through it. But I kind of like the kind of hints of circles that you get with it, and I'm going to put a few more around using primarily this one. Okay, you can hardly see it, but everything you add to a mixed media piece is just another level of detail that kind of pleases the eye. So you'll kind of see that there. Let me put that one aside. Here I've got there's some butterflies, and I want to put a butterfly on here, but I think I'm going to use the other ink that I have. But I do like these interlocking circles, and I kind of wanted to add that somewhere up to the photo cluster area. And I like them interlocking with the gray circles. Okay, there we go. Okay, like that a lot. And I'm going to kind of put some at a bit of an angle, maybe out here on the other side of the photo. There we go. And I'll do them at a little bit of an angle at the corner of the photo. And the photo is going to overlap this and hide some of it, but some of it will show. Okay, there. And now there's a big kind of a drip there. And I've got a drip. I've got my own darn drip. And I'm going to put it kind of at the corner of the photo as well, and let it appear to be dripping down onto those circles. So here's okay, that's good. And I'm going to add this one somewhere maybe down here, like that. And this has some little tiny bits off to the side. Let me tell you what stencils I've used these last couple times. This I know is a Crafter's Workshop, and in a minute I'll see if I can give you the number. I cannot see the number, but it is Crafter's Workshop. It's very old, and you can see how much I've used it. Okay, so that's what that is down there. I think I'll put that to the side. I'm going to do the butterfly in pink, and I'm going to put the small one maybe right there. But let me get to that. I think that's all the stencils I had. And I want to make this stencil. I'm leaving the brown and black. There are both colors. I'm not cleaning my pad. This is a Delusions ink spray pad. And it was completely blank. I sprayed it with a Heidi Swap Color Shine, so it's kind of a sparkly. And I'm going to get some on here. I don't know if it's wet enough, and then I'll go wash this. All of this is water soluble. So I don't want the butterfly to be an in-your-face pink, which is what that is. It really didn't pick up any of the pink at all. So, tell you what I'm going to do. Right here on camera, I'm going to spray it with this. I got this Color Shine in a, let's see, which month? Maybe January, Mind the Scrap Kit. So let me go back and put this guy in the same place, and we'll see if we can get it a little pinker. That appears to be pink on there. And I'm going to try not to go over the line. Okay, it's not pink, but it's perfect. It's perfect. So now that I have the pink on my stencil, or on my pouncer, I'm going to do this pattern. It's sort of a honeycomb pattern, and I'm going to do it over here, maybe underlapping that photo. There we go. And I'm going to add a little of this, what I'm calling a kind of a fence pattern there. So that's there. Let me do the fence pattern kind of coming up this side, but going a little bit off the page. Okay, there we go. Now, I've added some color that kind of explains this other color that's around there in places. I've got, I think, most of the stenciled elements that I want. So now I'm going to start doing some stamping. I bought one of the very first set of stamps that I ever bought were these that are mounted on rubber. They're rubber stamps mounted on foam rubber. And there's a whole alpha, and there's this, I love this exclamation point, and I wanted to do it somewhere. And I'm going to go back to the black here and kind of have that be one of my elements here. What I like about these, you can kind of press them down, and it's an imperfect impression. It's not fully, if I used my MISTI, and I have my MISTI out here on the desk, but I've decided not to use it. If I use the MISTI, it would, well, I think one of those is possibly enough. Let me put that aside. I'm going to use this large swirly circle and kind of do something maybe over here, underlapping the photo. Okay, that's good. I like that. And maybe one right there. I've got a small swirly. These were the days when I used to really keep my stamps perfectly clean. That small one there, and I'll put a small one up here by the stitching, and I'll overlap it with another one. Okay, so that makes it look like a little bit different image. Okay, putting that away, I'm now going to add to this bird scene because it's a stencil, it actually, the background shows through. I mean, it's digital. The background shows through when I print it over. I'm going to add a kind of a fun bird image. This is a stamp from a Pink Fresh stamp set. I don't have the stamp set to show you, but it's a little bird holding a balloon that has a star. It's a birthday themed set of stamps. So I'm going to kind of put this guy. Let's see, do I want it down here next to these pretty birds, or do I want it up here? The balloon gets me a Calvinball point, and I thought well, let's put it down here, which is gonna be the more fun segment. Okay, there you go. The bird is partially hidden by the circle there, but the balloon and the star show. Toadstools don't get you points anymore, but I love this toadstool and I want to use it, so I'm going to kind of go over by the corner of the photo. It's going to be partially hidden, but I'll know it's there, and it doesn't get many points anyway. So those are the stamps I had on that side. This one is it's got a star too. It is a flamingo, and we don't get points for flamingos, and I'm not seeing a really perfect place to do it. So now I'm going to switch to my alpha stamp sets and kind of play with those. Let me get my large stamp block. Well, no, I'll just go ahead and use this small one. There's the large one. I'll pull this off. Hopefully I'll remember where these go. I think all of these are from that Pink Fresh set that I was using yesterday. Okay, not crazy. I'm gonna kind of parade out for you my whole collection of things. Don't really want anything scripty. I love this that came into Mind the Scrap kit. It is all the letters are kind of distressed, and they're different sizes. So I will probably use that. Doesn't have any numbers, so I can't use that for my 100. Don't want to use that. I do like these stamps here. I don't know if I've ever used them. They've got their kind of floral filigree looking things, and I'm going to use the number 4 because there are 4 kiddos in the picture. And that may be the only number that has any meaning, and I'll pick other numbers from other stamp sets. Okay, and again, I have pulled the packaging away from these, so I can't tell you where those came from. What I can tell you is they're old. This 4, I'm gonna kind of put here. That'll be part of that photo cluster, and I'll probably overlap it with other elements when I start piling on points. So that's the last one I'm going to use from there. I'll put it on top because so that I know that I'll have to wash it. There's another set. This is a Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous set, and it does have numbers. So I'm going to pull, let's say, the 8 out. Not having good luck with that. I haven't used that, and it is also not a new stamp set. So I'm going to kind of stick it there, and I'm going to put an 8 on there because 8 is my favorite number. And there. And I'm going to do another, I'm going to do a trio of 8s. Okay, so 8's done. I'll put that there. I'm going to pull another. Now this clear stamp set is also I believe Tim Holtz. And it's older. I'm going to pull a 5 and a 2. No particular reason. You kind of get that. Let's see. I'll put the 2 maybe right here beside that. Again, it's a kind of distressed number, and so it's supposed to look like it didn't stamp well. I like those the best. And I'm going to stick this 5 down here. Okay, and I think I've done all of the numeral stamping. I have an ABC stamps from this school set, and I think I'm going to use all of them because the kids are obviously school age. Some of them are anyway. Ava was not. Okay, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and I'll have them kind of wonky like that, and they're not fully on the stamp, so they'll stamp unevenly, and that's okay. I may do these on the pink ink pad. Oops, doesn't, it's not sticking at all. That's odd because it's stuck so hard. I guess because it's overlapping there. Actually, I need it the other way around. Because it's going to go like that. And I need to turn the B upside down. Or I just could have turned the whole stamp block upside down, right? Let's see. We'll go maybe under the photo. I'm afraid that's going to fall off, but the C needs to be turned around too. Silly me. All I needed to do is turn that. And now I'm doubting myself, so I'm having... There we go. Okay, it sticks to the paper. And it didn't come out very well at all. But, again, it's mixed media, so it doesn't have to be perfect. This B, I can outline those. The B is going to be hidden somewhat Anyway, let me restamp the B, but I'm going to stamp it down farther, and I'll stamp it with a little black on it, and it's going to look, let me do it a little bit offset from what the original was. There we go. And then I'll just outline all of those so that you can see. I'll outline them with pen. Okay, so I think this is all I'm going to do. I have used scraps from Vicky Boutin's Wildflower and Honey to kind of mat the photo. I've got florals here, and that satisfies the floral element. I've left some spots here, down here, and up here. I rounded the corners of this scrap and made it a label, and I used my white pen. All of those things get points. So it's gonna go kind of right in here. And my toadstool is getting covered by this red bit. So I'm going to, I tore it there. Okay, so that's where that's gonna go. And then I will probably add some, no doubt, add the smallest Calvinball points I can possibly use, and then I'll add some down here, and this is where my title is gonna go. I'm gonna do the 100% there, and then I'm going to use that same alpha to say my monkeys. So, or 100% monkeys, something like that. So, watch for the completed layout after I finish my Calvinball points. But in the meantime, this is my my version of it that's fairly true to the sketch. I will be adding arrows, but they won't be mixed media. I'll probably add a star kind of right up in that same place, but it will be a foam alpha star. Okay, let me actually glue this on so we'll know where that intends to go, where I intend for that to go. Okay, everything else will be Calvinball, all the time. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week.